Hello everyone, and thanks so much for all the support with my videos. Down in St Stephen's Green this evening, at the top of Kildare Street, down towards Dail Eireann, and there's the Shelburne Hotel. Today, the parliamentary party meetings were held of the three big parties of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin. We are almost certain we're going to see a Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael government with a group of independents. This is all being organised at the moment following the results of the election over the last number of days in Ireland, where we saw Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil combined coming in with 86 seats, and with a group of regional and other independents, they will be well over the line to form a new government. Now, this is at the same time we've seen huge chaos in Ireland with the catastrophic policies around housing, homelessness. 40 people have died in the streets of Dublin this year. Already a health chaos and huge pressures on basic public services, and people are struggling into poverty and many more issues in our society. This is an Ireland that is very, very wealthy, represents the interests of the big corporations, and we have an Irish government that are more interested in standing up for the interests of the bureaucrats in Brussels rather than the ordinary people here in Ireland who suffer because of the neoliberal policies. Tonight they're up to 60 tents just down the road on Kildare Street of asylum seekers that can't get accommodation. Now, currently there are over 3,000 people trying to claim asylum who are without accommodation. €5 million a day is being spent on this industry. It has become a huge industry in Ireland. We've seen huge amounts of transfer of public money into private hands for the commercial property owners. Also, we've seen the benefactors being the big employers by suppressing wages. So, over the last few days, we've seen the election results. We've seen a lot of people accepting what's going to materialise over the next period of time in terms of worsening policies, and policies that will detrimentally impact people who are very marginalised already, and many who are vulnerable in our society. Many are apathetic, they know the system doesn't represent their interests, and they don't see a way out. And at the same time, we have the chaos continuing down on Kildare Street behind me tonight. We're over 50 or 60 tents. Now, the Irish government, old, new, more or less the same thing, are going to continue the same policies. They've signed up to the EU Migration Pact, which means that some bureaucrats in an office in Brussels will now decide on our immigration policy. Isn't that remarkable? What about our national sovereignty? What about control of our own borders? But this is all about making money for the big corporate globalists who benefit from the policies of the Irish political establishment and the status quo. So let's rip apart this veneer of democracy, because that's what it is. It's a facade, a charade, because it's essentially the corporations that are calling the shots. Here in Ireland, private equity companies, big global entities that call the shots. They're beholden to, the politicians are beholden to the interests of these through Brussels. And here in Ireland, we see the tax haven model in Ireland. We've seen big lobbyists like IBEC talk about suppressing wages and keeping the minimum wage from increasing. We've seen the issues arise amongst the exploitation of non-EU citizens by employers, also by landlords. But of course, this won't be discussed on the mainstream channels, because who pays for the mainstream channels? Who owns them? Who advertises on them? It's pretty clear to see. It's not ordinary people. It's the corporations, the very wealthy in society. Now, also what's very important around here is that nearly 10 years ago, a man just died in the steps, just yards away from Dail Eireann. Jonathan Curry. Rest in peace. Up to this year alone, Nearly 40 people have died on the streets of Dublin. And this has never precipitated any humanitarian response by the Irish political establishment, because they've allowed this to happen. And people have been conditioned to accept homelessness as normal, as something that is the fault of the individual rather than the fault of the system. And this is what's more important now, more than ever, to realise when they try and discuss the facade and illusion of democracy to us, and they try and claim the centre must hold and all this nonsense, and stability, the famous buzzword stability. It's completely unstable, but it's been held together through the media, through the political establishment, and through this incoming government, which will represent the precise same interests that have always been represented in Irish society. The very wealthy, the very rich, and the corporations. And bow down to their masters in Brussels rather than serving the people here in Ireland. The people are sovereign. As Patrick Pearse wrote, the sovereign people. People are sovereign and indefeasible. But of course, the people of Ireland have no hand, act or part in Irish policy. It's all top-down diktats, much the same as we're facing here tonight when you see 60 tents outside Dail Eireann. So it's more of the same policies, more top-down diktats, and more struggles in society that people need to be aware of. So please share my videos, and please press subscribe to my YouTube channel also as well, because I'm highlighting what's really going on in Ireland, really going on in Dublin. And of course this won't be broadcast on any mainstream media, because you don't want to talk about these issues. They'll just try and distract you and pretend that it was a great result for the establishment over the weekend, rather than deal with the underlying reality to what their policies have brought to the people of Dublin and to Ireland as well, at the benefactors of the very rich, big employers, commercial property owners, and all those who benefit from the immigration industry. Thanks for the support of my videos. Please press subscribe also. Take care. Slán.